Think Bigger Podcast, episode 25, January 1, 2020. Let's get straight to it, you guys. 2020. It's a good looking number. It's got a nice ring to it. So, New Year's resolutions, ideas, promises, words. There's a lot going on right now. There's a lot going on, and I'm not one of those people that says you shouldn't wait until the new year to make a resolution or make a change in your life, and knocking the people who are utilizing this day, January 1 of a new decade, right? However you want to look at it, new year, a new day, a new decade, or just another day. What we're going to do right now is we are going to start off properly, okay? So, right now, everyone listening, pause this podcast right now. And I want you to go to my post on Instagram. And in the comment section, I want you to post right now however many resolutions, ideas, actions, and things that you are aiming and going to accomplish this year. Why? Because it's going to be put in a public place so that you can be held accountable by your peers and your friends and your community. So, this is not a suggestion. Do it right now. Every one of you, pause this, go to my Instagram and post it so that it is public, it is referenceable, it is visible to the community. Okay. Now, if you have a vision board, do you guys know what a vision board is? Many motivational speakers and social media influencers and entrepreneurs and all that jazz, right, will tell you to have a vision board to write things down, right? So posting in the comment section is a version of that. But I suggest that you literally follow those directions. Okay, a vision board. I don't care if you write it in marker or in bold, on a piece of paper and then tape it to your wall if you don't have a whiteboard. Now, I don't think anyone has a chalkboard anymore, but if you want to, you can go to the store and buy a cheap whiteboard, a good size, put it up on your wall, okay? And write down right there, so that it's visible to you every single day what you are going to accomplish. Not what you're hoping to accomplish, not what you're going to try to accomplish, my friends. What you are going to accomplish. I don't care if you made that resolution last night at midnight, all of December 2019 or all of 2019, and you waited and came up with excuses, or you feel like there were legitimate reasons that you were not able to make those things happen. All of that is in the past. I don't care if you have been trying to work on this same thing for years or months. But right now, if you do not own a whiteboard that you can take a marker and write it up there, if you want to be contemporary and go right now to your computer and in the biggest font and size you can, Microsoft Word, type them out and print it out, and then tape the pieces of paper that come out of your printer to the wall if you don't have a whiteboard, right? Whatever it is, this is not just to have in your head. This is not just to say out loud. This is to write down so that it is visible to you every single day. If you can bombard yourself with random nonsense on the Instagram Explore page every day, then you can look up and read a promise that you are making to yourself, to your loved ones, to your children, to your spouses, to your family, to your community, to your peers, whoever and however many resolutions and promises and actions and accomplishments that you are going to make happen, not try or hope to make happen, that you are going to make happen, my friends. It needs to be there, visible. So, you better have done it already and now pushed play on your back. But if you haven't, I'm telling you right now, pause this podcast and go to my post for episode 25 right now, January 1, 2020. And comment, and I don't care if there's 50 of them or one. It doesn't matter if it's as tiny as I'm going to drink more water, right? Or all the way to I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to get fit, I'm going to be able to do 100 pull-ups, I'm going to run a 10-mile triathlon, I'm going to start a business, I don't care how major or crazy it sounds or how tiny and small it is. I don't care if there's 1 or 100. Go and post it on the post on Instagram on my personal page of this podcast so that it is visible and referenceable to you and your community so that we can hold each other accountable. We are here for that. The Think Bigger project as a brand and as a mentality and as a movement. This is what it's about. Okay? Helping each other, not hating on each other, not laughing at each other, not turning, the cold shoulder or kind of pretending you don't see things going on. Everyone else does that. We, the people who are listening to this, the people who are a part of this mentality or are becoming part of this movement and this mentality, this is what it is about, my friends, right? Each for the other. Do you guys understand what that means? Each for the other. If each person is living and breathing and working, not for themselves, but for others, if everyone's doing that, man, the strength that we can have and the way that we can grow this community and this culture, right? And when I mean this community, I mean all of us. There are so many walks of life. There are so many countries listening. There are so many age groups and genders and heights and weights and locations and you guys, we are here for each other. Okay? If you're listening to this and rolling your eyes and you're thinking this is cheesy, fuck you, because it's not. This is real. This is how we can make it, right? No man is an island. It takes a village to... Do you guys know all these sayings, right? They exist for a reason, all right? You guys, 2020, the end of and now the start of a decade, right? January 1, the calendar's at 1. However you look at this, whether you started and have been trying to work on something for however long or you're starting today, right? It is imperative, it is crucial that you hold yourself accountable in more ways than just in your own head. So post it publicly on my post about this episode. And let's get to it, okay? Everything starts with one step, right? They say that's the hardest part. I don't believe that that's the hardest part because peer pressure can even make someone take a first step. Impulse can make somebody take a first step, right? But what about the 1000th step? What about when the status quo and the pop culture and when people stop posting about their resolutions and people stop really talking about the new year, new me and all that stuff? What happens when that disappears, right? The only person left to hold yourself accountable is you, yourself. When you wake up in the morning, open your eyes and you see it on your wall, right? Or you open your Instagram, which you're gonna open anyways. Let's be honest. It's not like everyone or anyone is giving it up. So when you open it, you can reference the post. See if somebody commented. What if somebody's on the same journey as you? Or what if somebody's laughing at you? Oh, you just want to do that? Or you're never going to do that? Boom. Then whether it's someone positive or someone negative, you are held accountable for the words that came out of your mouth or the words that came out of your fingers. Whether you say it or you type it or comment it, it is now there. And it is your responsibility to be a person who's worth their word. For my previous listeners, for the support base, for the people that have been part of the Think Bigger podcast, we are 1 year in, okay? January 1, 2019 is when the first episode dropped. And here we are, 25 episodes later. I know some people do hundreds. Some people do one a week on average, which gets them, 50 some odd, depending on if they're consistent with it. And here we are about 25. And for me, it's because I care about quality. All right. I care about quality. I don't care about volume. I don't care about quantity. Right. There will be more and more topics and passionate subjects and events that will trigger the need for intelligent conversation. And so the length of each podcast, the amount of podcasts, I'm never concerned about. But what I am concerned about is that each and every episode has depth to it and stimulates positive thought, forward movement, progression, intelligence. Because if you better yourself as an individual in the way that you think and the way that you act, as a part of the community, if each person is bettering themselves, we will then in turn have the ability to better the community around us. There it is. That's the simplicity and the premise of the Think Bigger project as a brand and as a movement, and the Think Bigger podcast. So we are going to go right here. Everyone, hold yourselves accountable in a public way. And I encourage you right now, to go and purchase a whiteboard, some ability to put up on your wall what it is that you're trying to accomplish. You've got to try something different. If you've never done any of these things before, what have you got to lose? Okay, no, I don't need to buy a whiteboard. I don't need to print it out. I know it's going to be on your Instagram post. No, not just or, but and. Okay, do both. Right? Do both. Okay? Nobody forgets to wake up in the morning. Nobody forgets to drink water. Really, no one forgets to shower, brush your teeth, eat, right? But we'll forget to, go to the gym. We'll forget to call someone and tell them you love them and you miss them. We'll forget. We get busy, right? And somehow these things that were at some point very important to us, if you just don't really pay attention, you just find yourself not really thinking about them or it as much as you used to, right? Whether that be a promise, whether that be a resolution, a goal, it doesn't matter. Everyone listening knows what I'm talking about. Every one of us is guilty, whether it be because of circumstances, family issues, financial issues, personal hardship, emotional, issues. One, two, or all of those. We are all humans who have experienced or are experiencing those types of things. But it's time to stop allowing them to end up winning, okay? One step forward, and you might take 2 steps back, but it started forward, okay? And I don't care what anyone says. It's not a perfect journey. It's not Disneyland. It isn't just going to magically all happen. But doing things like holding yourself accountable, doing things like listening to quality content like this, right, is a way to help you by holding yourself accountable publicly, right? It's there. You can't take it back. And there are going to be very few people who are going to be down with the excuses. It's a way. It's a tool, okay? It's a tool. This is a tool. We are here to help each other. So, 2020, the start of a new year, the start of a new decade. What are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it, right? Let's open our eyes and talk to each other like adults, okay? Now, for people who listen to the podcast, right, I think one of the reasons why this podcast took off so well is because people weren't really prepared for the subject matter, right? The first episode to drop 1 year ago was entitled, Do You Think You're an Adult? Let's have a conversation. And people loved it because they were like, what? What is this? Do you think you're an adult? What is that? And they listened. Still the number 1 most listened to episode. Okay. The next episode, what's your point? What's your point? When you speak, is there a point to what you say? When you do something, what is the point or the purpose of what you did or are doing? This is called moving with purpose. Right? Not just randomly floating through life, not just saying things, spurting them out of our mouth, right? This is about purpose. And you need to be driven. You can have all the passion in the world and energy and emotion that kind of is involved with the idea of passion, but you need to be driven, right? When you speak, do you speak with purpose? When you act, when your hands move to do something, do they move with purpose? Or are you just there, right? So episode 1 was, do you think you're an adult? Let's have a conversation. 2, what's your point? 3, what does it really mean to do your own thing? Okay, what does that mean? That was the 3rd episode last year, and it spawned a big wave. What does it really mean to do your own thing? That means that even if you must separate yourself from the people closest to you sometimes, or just maybe your social circle, right? When you say, I just do my own thing. What does that really mean? That means that sometimes if you have a goal that is so out there or crazy or elaborate, right? That the people around you either don't get it, don't want to get it, which isn't a bad thing. They're not malicious people. They're not holding you down. We're talking about people who just simply aren't where you are mentally, or they don't have the ambition or the size of a dream. They can't think as big as you can. So when you say, I have this resolution, or I have this idea, or I have this whatever, there are going to be people in your life, and I'm not even talking about the negative people. I'm talking about people who just innocently maybe don't get it. So what does it really mean to do your own thing? It means that you're going to have to man up and have the fortitude to separate yourself from people that may not be able to help you. And you need to go and zone in and do what you need to do. Okay? And then what is your word worth? That was the 4th episode. What is your word worth? When you speak, do people want to listen? We all know that person who's always joking and laughing and always says they're going to do this. And it kind of ties into the whole new year, new me. I'm going to do this. My car guy's like, oh, I'm going to kill the game and la-da-da-da-da, all that stuff, right? I'm going to be swole. I'm going to bench press 500 pounds. I'm going to, get with as many women as I can. And all these kind of, I'm using very stereotypical examples, but you guys apply it to anything. We all know the people who always are saying they're going to do things. But interestingly enough, they haven't done them, right? And I've had people who have thought about that. And throughout 2019, even 2, 3, 5, 8 months, 10 months after that particular episode, which addressed that specifically about what is your word worth, I had people message me and say, you know what, man? I know who you're talking about. In my world, that there's a person that describes. And you know who that person is? Me. And I appreciate that you're like kind of like grabbing me by the shirt collar and saying, man, if you're going to be a person that people give a damn about, a person that people believe, that has weight to their word, you got to live up to it. You got to do what you say you're going to do. So those are just some topics that were specifically addressed, and they are all part of thinking bigger. They are all part of this ideology and movement and brand. Okay? You guys, it's a new day. Whether you want to say it's just like any other day, fine. It's a new year, okay? Just like any other year, okay, fine. It's a new decade. It starts to get even more grandiose. It doesn't matter how you look at it. A regular day, a new year, a new decade, right? Whether you think, oh, well, I don't care about these stupid people with New Year's resolutions. They should have been doing. We're putting aside all of that. I don't care if it's something that you have been trying to do your whole life, or something that you have decided finally to use this calendar resetting and the end of a year and January 1, and you have that kind of like reset point. If that's what you have chosen to wait for, okay, here we are right now. Everything else is in the past. We are starting right now, January 1 of this new year, 2020, and we're going to make it happen. You guys hear me right now? We are going to make it happen. We are going to hold each other accountable, and we are going to go into the year strong, okay? Do not be a victim to your circumstances, right? The minute something comes up that makes it harder than you thought it was going to be, who gives a damn? That just means you have to work harder, It's just that simple. Every time something comes up and you're feeling like you've got an obstruction and a hurdle to get over, comment on the post on Instagram. I'll comment back. Your peers will comment back, and we can help you, right? It might just be a moment where you're feeling weak or feeling frustrated, right? It doesn't matter, okay? It is about the community. You guys hear me right now? This is coming from a place of sincerity and love and depth. I value the community and people. I value you all, the listeners, the followers, and friends and supporters. Okay? I look forward to being able to converse with you in this fashion, in the live streams on Instagram, and in person. Okay, I'm going to be on the East Coast, in the South. I'm going to be in the Pacific Northwest. I'm going to be in the Midwest. And I'm going to be in the United Kingdom, Belgium, Germany, and Indonesia, and Singapore. All this year. Okay, those are just some of the places that I'm going to be this year. So if you are listening and you are anywhere near one of those places, right, plan for it. I'm planning to be there with you guys in your home city or state or country as much as possible. So whatever event that I'm blessed to be able to host and work with, right? I don't care if you're not a car person. You don't have to be a car person. There's so many car guys who are nodding their head. But for those people listening, and there's so many more, and it's growing. It's growing that there are listeners that don't know much about this automotive community and industry that I come from and that many of the listeners are from. But it's not about one niche or one culture. It's about all of us. Okay, when I speak about the community and your peers, I'm talking about everyone. So, whether you are from one or another world or culture, right? Stay tuned. I'm going to announce the various cities that are stamped in and locked in. I will for sure be in London, Brussels, Belgium, and Nuremberg at the Nürburgring in Germany. 100% for sure. God forbid anything, medical or something. But yes, those are all on the agenda, as well as Florida, Seattle, and Jersey, New York, and just, you guys, so many. There's so many. This episode is not about that. It's about starting off the new year. There will be posts on my Instagram that show specifically where I'll be. So right now, let's get back to what it's about, my friends. Are you listening? Are you with me? This is not a lengthy podcast. This is a powerful, to the point call to action. This is a call to action. Whenever you are listening to this, I want you to push your shoulders back a little bit, push your chest out a little bit. I want you to sit up or stand up straighter and know that you have a support base. You have a person and people and a community of TBP followers and supporters who are here to help you. And in the midst of all of that, right, is what it really boils down to, and that is personal responsibility, okay? We are helpful. We are here to help. We are tools and even crutches at the times when you're hurting. You need someone or something to lean on. But in the end, this is me and us looking at each other in the eyes and saying, you've got to do what you said you're going to do. You need to do what you have said you are going to do or thought about doing for however long. Now is the time to take one step forward and begin. Are you guys with me? So, Think Bigger Project, Think Bigger Podcast, Community Conversations, right? The Community Conversations branch of the podcast is growing. There are so many people whose life experiences and stories I covered last year, and so many more are coming this year. Okay, we are all people living life, experiencing life, and having hardships. Everyone thinks it's all, fun and games and everything because of social media. My friends, it's not real. It is contrived reality. It is filtered reality. It is a piece of reality. Okay, it is not the whole thing. And when you listen to community conversations, as well as watch the behind the scenes vlogs that I have done and will continue to do with shops and people, businesses and individuals, you will get an understanding, and you'll be able to understand that it isn't just your struggle. Okay, you're not alone. People who may look like they have it all didn't have it all at some point, and they might not even have it all right now, even though it may appear that way. Okay, this is a time to start not just with your personal resolution and some kind of specific goal, but it's also time to start shedding the veil, right? Pulling away the veil of social media and its fake representation of the world around you. Are you guys hearing me right now? We've got to make some changes. One of the ways that we need to make changes is individually, but also as a group, as a whole, right? And what we need to do for our health is understand that the internet and smartphones and social media has connected the world, but disconnected people. Are you with me right now? If you can take the time to go on the Explore page or check out random nonsense on YouTube, or I don't know, man, watch stupid TikTok videos, right? Which is apparently the new thing. You know what TikTok is? That's time going away while your life is disappearing. That's what TikTok is. Literally, TikTok. That is the seconds of your life that you are wasting watching a random person do a random thing when you can be using that time to get shit done. For you, for your families, for your loved ones, for your community. Are you listening? This is a call to action. This is me telling you I'm going to go and read your comments. It is going to be locked in, and we are going to hold each other accountable. We can do it daily, we can do it weekly, we can do it monthly, biannually, quarterly, yearly. I don't give a damn, okay? But every one of you right now, you think somebody needs to hear this? Do you think that this podcast, and specifically these words, they need to go to somebody? Share it with them. Make them listen to it. Because this isn't about just us. It's about reaching the community in the world, making the world a better place. And if everyone just stopped bullshitting and entertaining themselves, everyone wants to be entertained. Entertainment is for people with spare time. And how many of us have really accomplished all of the things that we really want to accomplish? How is it that we have time to be entertained? It's called time to kill. How do we have time to kill? We don't have time to kill, right? You want to kill time, right? You want to do nothing? Then drive to somebody who you haven't seen in a while. Drive to their house, sit next to them, and kill time next to somebody you love. Right? You want to do nothing? Do nothing sitting with your children. Put them on you, sit with them. Right? You have a friend that you haven't seen in a while that you really care about? Man, if you got a friend that you haven't talked to in a while, don't even call them. Well, you know what? Don't text them. Don't Snapchat them. Don't DM them. Don't Facebook message them. Call them. Go to their home. Spend time with them. Okay? If there was ever something to do with your quote unquote spare time to kill time, make it something memorable without having to be dramatic. You don't have to get on a plane. You don't have to fly anywhere, right? You don't have to do that. There's an episode coming up about traveling where I'm addressing this whole traveling thing. Everyone wants to travel. Everyone sees each other on a plane in another country and doing this or that. Traveling, my friends, is not about geography. It's not about distance. Okay, traveling is in your head. We're going to talk about that. But that's one of the things I've always encouraged everyone to do, is to take a moment and give that moment to somebody you care about. Call each other. Stop texting each other. Stop TikToking and snapping and all this nonsense, okay? Stop it, right? Call each other, talk to each other, spend time with each other, encourage each other, okay? That's what we're all about. Think Bigger Project, Think Bigger Podcast. There are so many more episodes of depth and intelligence to come, community conversations with guests. You guys, this is a call to action, January 1 of the new year, 2020. Make it the one. You hear me? I love you. I appreciate you. God bless you all. Let's get it.